So let me use this paper as an example of how you can know how to fold your fabric for bubu dresses. Let's assume this paper is our material. So the way it is like this, you're going to fold into two this way. You're folding like this, then you will fold like this. Can you see? So here will be the neckline for both the front and the back, then the shoulder slant. So that is how I folded this fabric. So this is the center front and this is the upper part. Now that we know how to fold fabric for bubu, let's get started. Now my client's bubu length is the length of 60. My fabric is up to it is up to 60. So I'll just add 1 inch for seam allowance for this down part. I'm going to get the neckline. She wants a neckline that is wide, and such necklines are called the boat neckline. And how do you get your boat neckline? The wideness of your boat neckline, it can be 6 inches, it can be 5 inches. Then the depth should not be more than 3 inches, because any neckline that is wide doesn't need a deep neckline. Do you understand? So I'm going to be using 5 inches for this tutorial. I will indicate my 5 like this. Then the depth for the front is 3 inches. I will use 1 inch for the depth for the back. Can you see it? This is 3 inches, this is 1 inch, then this is 5 inches. So I'll just roll the 1 inch for the back this way. Then I'll also connect the 3 inches for the front like this. I normally slant shoulders for bubu dresses. Yeah, except exceptional cases where the bubu design doesn't have a shoulder joining. That is when I leave it. But most of the bubu I make, I like joining the shoulder. Before we get the shoulder joining, as in slanting it, I'm going to be getting the length of the sleeve. If you're making bubu dresses, you have to take the measurement from the center of the neck at the back. Then you measure it to where you want the sleeve length to get to. When I did that, I got 25 inches for my client's sleeve length. So I'm going to indicate the 25 inches like this. So I will mark the 25 inches all the way down. This is the sleeve length of 25 inches. I've also marked it like this. I'll be cutting it off now. After getting your neck width of 5 inches here, you're going to get your client's shoulder measurement. So the shoulder is 8 inches. So you indicate the 8 inches this way. Then on this 8 inches here, you come down by 1 inch. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So when you come down by 1 inch, you place your ruler on your neck width here. You place it, then let it get to the 1 inch here, this way. Then you are going to slant it. You are going to rule it like this. I'll be cutting that off. So before cutting it off, the first thing I'll cut is the back one first of 1 inch. Your back depth of 1 inch. You cut like this. You connect it to your 5 inches. This way. Then you start slanting from that place to your 8 inches. Then you slant down. The next thing we'll do is to just input the measurements. But you know, bubu, the measurement has to be on both sides. So I'm just going to input this one. Then we'll open it up and input the other side of the measurement. So just watch how I do. Now for this client, her breast point is 10.5. Her waist length is 17 inches. So you indicate the 17 inches this way. Then the hip length is 26 inches. So you also mark the 26 inches like this. So you're going to rule this line. So you will rule all the lines together. I am using white chalk because I don't want the fabric to stain, because this is the front part of the fabric. So I hope you can see my chalk. So for this client, her round bust is 33 inches. I'm going to add 4 inches to it, making 37. So 37 divided by 4, we have 9.25. So you indicate your 9.25 this way. Then for the waist, our waist is 27. So I'm going to make this 20. I'm going to add 4 inches to it, making 31. So 31 divided by 4, we have 7.75. So you mark it this way like this. Now for the hip, our hip is 40. 40 plus 4, we have 44. 44 divided by 4, we have 11. So you're going to place the 11 inches on the hip line. Now this is the hip line. So whatever I have on this hip line is what I will repeat for the down part. Now, just for a little bit ease for movements, I'm just going to make the down part 13. I make this one 11, so I make the down part 13. We'll mark your 13 down here. Let's connect all the lines together. Now this is the waist. You connect it to the breast point like this. From the waist, you connect to the hip. Can you see my lines? You connect it, then from this hip you connect to the full length. After this, guys, whatever we have here, we are going to mark it on the other side also. That is why I use a white chalk. If I use a colored chalk, it's going to stain this fabric. So I hope you all understand what I did here. Now I will remove the back horn so that I can cut the neckline for the front. So you just open it up this way and you remove one piece out of it. You remove it like this. Then you arrange this one properly so that you can cut the neckline. I have cut the front neckline. Now let's open it and mark the measurements on the second part. So I'm going to drop 1, that's the back, because everything you're going to do has to be on the front. Whatever we have here, repeat it here. Now it was easy for me because I ironed the center part when I folded it, so that you can have your middle line. Take your tape and you transfer everything you have here to this second part. So you can measure from the starting point here. You get here 10.5, here 17. So you repeat all the lines to here. 10.5, 17. Then the hip measurement, you also repeat it of 26. Yes. From the center part here, there's 9.25. You repeat it here, 9.25. For the waist measurement, you're going to mark from the center point. Whatever you have here, I have 8.25. You're going to repeat. You're going to mark the same line here. So you do the same thing for the hip. Whatever you have here, I have 11. So you also mark 11 for the hip. So you connect all the lines together. So the down part also, you're going to mark whatever you have here, you repeat it on the other side. So let's mark. I have 13 there. Then you would also mark your 13 here. Indicate it. then you connect the lines together. After getting the two on both sides, now the next thing to do is we will be joining the shoulder together. You're going to take the back part now, so you place it right side to right side, then you join the shoulder with ½ inch, then join the other shoulder too with ½ inch. Now guys, this is it. After joining the two shoulders together, the next thing we'll be doing is now to sew all the marks, all the lines we drew on this. You can see the shape. From the breast point, I came down by 2.5. I'll start sewing from this two line. I'll sew all the way down, and when I get to the down part, I am going to measure 10 inches on both sides. Up here, you will take your tape and you measure 10 inches like this. You indicate the 10 inches. Do the same thing on the other line. You also indicate the 10 inches. When you sew all the shapes, you're stopping at this 10 inches. The reason for that is because you can have free movements. It will not be too tight for you. Let me do that. And you can pin your fabric down so that it doesn't shift when you're sewing. Pin everything. Now I have finished sewing all the shapes together, so I can remove my pins now. The next thing to do is I'm going to be piping the neckline. I'll use a bias to pipe the neckline. Then I'm going to weave all the sides together. I'll weave all the sides, and after that, after weaving, I would now pipe it inside. I'll just fold like this and I'll sew. I'll wear it on the mannequin for you guys to see how it is. If this tutorial has been helpful to you, kindly give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, turn on the bell so that I get notified anytime I upload a new video.